Well, hello and welcome to the Stade Chanzy for FRUK's coverage of Pro D2. And tonight it is Soyaux Angoulême against Grenoble. We've got a busy November coming up. Plenty more action with Grenoble against Béziers. And it'll be Vannes against Grenoble. That one on Sunday the 16th. With coverage starting at 10 to 8 before Brive take on Colomiers. So it is day 9 of Pro D2, and we start, as mentioned, with Soyaux Angoulême against Grenoble, and then coming up on Friday, Béziers against Colomiers, Vannes against Valence, Romain, Aurillac against Oyonnax, Mont-de-Marsan against Nevers, and all of those other fixtures will be taking place tomorrow. And then here is the current classement, with Vannes at the top, with Colomiers in second, Valence, Nevers, Agen and Provence in those other playoff berths, with the Mont-de-Marsan and Dax down at the tail end of the table. Well, delighted to be joined by Joe Worsley for this one. Joe, hi. And both of these teams have had a pretty indifferent start to the season. I just wondered what you put that down to.
Interesting. For Soyaux Angoulême, I think, good night, everybody. Good night. Good night, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I think Soyaux Angoulême have had a rough start to the season. Part of the reason was they really overachieved last year, club with a small budget. Maybe a little bit of a hangover from that. They have also had a lot of injuries. Like tonight, they're missing people like Botica, Mafu. Some really important players for their team are missing, and they're still a side that have relatively small budget, so the squad's just simply not as deep as other squads. Last year, they surprised a few teams with how well they played. This year, there's no surprise. Everyone knows what's coming at them. They know the quality of this team, so they're not going to give them maybe an easy bride that they would have before. Grenoble's a whole different question. Grenoble are a team who have had political strife in the last few months. They're very popular coach, attack coach Nicolas Nadal, was fired after some disagreements with the other staff members, and then finally he gave the doctor some stick for not doing the stitches quick enough to one of his props who couldn't come back on the pitch, and that was the final straw, and he got pushed out. Strike from the players, followed by a deal with the club, and now they're all back on the pitch, but still there's issues between the coaches and the playing group, and they're just not functioning as well as they were last year, on top of some injuries to some vital players. That's the history and the reason for these two teams not performing.
But both of them did at least manage to win last week, which some would see as a change in fortune, as we see some Halloween costumes making their way out into the crowd. I just wonder if you think it's a change in fortune, or is it a full story?
Let's have a look tonight at Grenoble. They played a weak Aurillac, a bin-juice Aurillac. Aurillac has sent an even weaker team than they would do normally. And I want to see, Aurillac, but I want to see Soyaux Angoulême. They put in a great performance last week. Listen, Brive had the dominate territory, a lot of possession, and Brive butchered a few chances, but Soyaux Angoulême took everyone they had. They showed some amazing character, and that character is what they've still got, despite having a relatively disappointing start to the season. So tonight we'll have to see if they can front up, definitely. But people like Botica are a huge deal for them. The game manager, the ability to open doors. Without him playing, I'm not sure they're quite as dangerous as normal, and when they can't score points, they're going to struggle with the team they got to win these kind of games.
Well, reading through the programme ahead of the game, as we take a look at the teams here, a very definite move by Soyaux Angoulême to really try and take it to Grenoble up front. Youth and pace allied with experience. You've got players like Farmasui, Arnold and Nabu offering the latter, Nollet, Farissier, Dubec and May the former. And they have some real exciting players on that bench as well.
Yeah, they certainly do. We went with Johnny May through their team, and there's some talent throughout, especially in the back line. The back line has a number of talented players who are dangerous. You just need to free them up, the 10 who can do that.
and Grenoble, a really powerful pack. You've got the experience of Thomas and Jonker in the front row, and then someone like Mathis Barret in that back row, the France under-20 international, and then a slightly unproven half-back pairing. Barnabé Couillot, very good, but Max Clément still finding his way.
Definitely, Max Clément. I've seen him have a very good game, and I've seen him have a shocker. So he's certainly one player who's still finding his way. Obviously, he's probably their third choice 10. So they've rotated a little bit. They've still got a large number of quality players in their squad tonight, Grenoble.
A lot of rotation seen amongst all of the teams. Almost, I think, more so than you see in many other leagues. Does that just explain to everyone just the sheer brutality of the physical contest in Pro D2?
Yeah, surely the brutality is one reason. The sheer physical, and in the top 14 as well, it's a very physical league. It's one of the reasons it's so good fun to watch. Now, the other reason is the length of the season. So at this point in the season, if you just pick the same 23, 25 players, and you pick your squad from that group of players every week, you can have 10 plus players who are going to be getting left out, and that can create enormous problems when you're trying to play over 11 months, when you're going to need more of the squad playing at some point. So rotation will happen to keep them fresh after they're all bashed up from the physicality, but also to keep the squad happy and content, so that everyone feels that they got a good opportunity. So you got to rotate to keep everyone involved, but you got to make sure you got a good enough team on that pitch to win the games necessary to be in the right position towards the end of the season.
One of the things mentioned by Richie Arnold in the program for this match was that the team needed to impose themselves physically like they did against Brive. Now, you were on the receiving end of that. Just how physical were they as a side?
Obviously, I was watching from afar, so I couldn't pick up on how intense that match was, but there were some great defensive moments from Angoulême, and it was some of them that turned the game. Nolly especially was making some massive hits, and they want to bring that physicality again tonight, and they're going to need to.
Two teams make their way out then onto the Stade Chanzy terrain in preparation for this game. Both sides coming into this match off the back of wins. The victory against Brive away by 25 points to 16 for Soyaux Angoulême, and a rampant victory for Grenoble against Carcassonne, 57 points to 12, which included a hat-trick from Raffa Costa-Storti, the man who still holds the top scoring in the Pro D2 when he scored 21 tries a couple of seasons ago for Béziers.
Still a lot of quality on that pitch. Really looking there, there's still some very dangerous backs in that Soyaux Angoulême back line. Hopefully any breaks, any chances they get, people like Tisley can take them.
High restart then from Max Clément to get us underway, and that ball's immediately claimed and wrapped up by the home side. Alexis Levron will use his big runners, including Richie Arnold, the aforementioned Australian. Taking his time at the base here before hoisting up the first box kick of the evening, which is very well collected, and then dancing back through that defensive shake-up. A chance for Couillot to get it out down the line. Into that line comes Palmier, and right out onto that right-hand side, chipped ahead by Costa-Storti. It's gone straight into touch.
Yeah, that was an interesting first sequence of play. So they absolutely folded up Arnold and piled him backwards. So Grenoble forwards showing some intense tackling there at that moment. One of the chase line was tripped up as they were chasing, so they got a bit of go forward on the first counter-attack opportunity, and I thought really they should have done better than that. Costa-Storti would be really disappointed. He made the fullback come up. There was a chip in behind, space behind. He'd be disappointed to put that straight out.
Line-out ball is well collected. Richie Arnold. That ball nudged forwards. Making their way up towards halfway here. released again. Ball ordered to be left alone there, as George Tilsey was brought to stop. Lovely little half break up to halfway from the home side. Through the hands once more. Tixier.
Yeah, another big box kick there. Bit too long, no contest. So Grenoble go to the air with their kicking game. But caught on the fault. What a kick. Did that 50-22? That was an incredible kick. I'm loving, we're going to definitely see this one again. That was incredible. So, poor kick. I love kick battles. Poor kick initially from Soyaux Angoulême. Gave Grenoble a chance to get it back down into their half. And they found grass. But then look at this kick. Look at this high-quality kick. He's working in 5 meters of space. He floats it over his opposite number. Bouncing out, creating an opportunity instantly for his team. That is high-quality kicking play.
Line-out ball then for Soyaux Angoulême, which is collected well by Arnold. On its way, breakthrough, should be the opening try, scored by Bergès.
Wow, that was awesome.
The perfect start.
Who needs Ben Botica when you can do that, huh? A youngster, I think Johnny May did mention his name as being a young, talented 10. And we're seeing that talent shining through now. Let's have another look at this. The Maul gets on, gets motoring, they get the advantage, so they release it for the back line, and then Tisley takes it to the line and makes the perfect pass to his 10. So they draw 2 players, the 10 sliding out into the space created by the outside centre coming too high. Wonderfully taken, Soyaux Angoulême. They're looking confident. They're looking like they're a team who can really take confidence from last week's Brie victory right now.
Bergès now with the opportunity to add the 2. Judged to perfection with the breeze blowing across the face of the posts. So Paul Bergès with his first try of the season, and he's added the extras to make it 7 points to 0.
Yeah, guys, you might have noticed that it's not Tim tonight commentating. We've got Jonathan here tonight, and we're very lucky to have him on. 6 years living in Paris, working for Eurosport. He's described as a foodie and a cyclist freak, so we can dig into that a bit later when we have time. Oh, Tim's in Chicago with his face in a deep pan pizza as we speak.
I'm sure he's watching there at the same time. Clearance comes from the base of the scrum and finds a decent looking touch.
Yeah, Grenoble was saying that was outside of the 22, with the ref is adamant that the ruck was inside the 22. The 9 did put in a good quality kick there. So the young halfback pairing we had have really got off to a good start. One missed kick, we could say, from Angoulême at the start, but that kick from their 9 was pretty good.
Bastien Souris hasn't hit his man, and it's claimed back by Soyaux Angoulême, who can now look to try and at least get some potential here. The ball carried there by Samuel Nollet. Some good carries before Levron now tries to put one in deep, and it does skip off the turf just before going into touch.
Yeah, these guys, that's not a bad start. Levron looked like a Janot there, the 9 from Clermont. You see that space that suddenly came? Nollet had a great carry, a bit of space near the ruck. Levron just went for it. Really, really good play from Levron. And here, I'd say that's going to go back. That looks on the line. But looking at the poor play, because they made a poor pass, Levron decided to go to the boot and kick for touch. They're going to stick with the call made by the touch judge.
Well, last line out didn't go the way of Grenoble, so Bastien Souris is under a bit of pressure here, and Arnold's putting the pressure on. No problems on this occasion, though. And coming across the corridor is the referee's decision, and Farmu Asili is the man who's been penalised here.
Stop! 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 Reculez!
Up and under hoisted. He's foraging for that ball. Sekeli Nabu gets in there. Levron with his runners to both left and right, looking to carry that ball up to the gain line and try and smash through it, which they haven't really succeeded in doing so far, the visiting side. Levron, hand on that one. And that should be taken back in by Souris, but then lost forwards, and so an advantage to be paid here. And Soyaux Angoulême, advantage can they find? Well, it's not the best handling.
Yeah, that was probably the lowest quality passing sequence we've seen in the game thus far. Now, Levron made a little mistake there. The ruck was way too short for him to kick off a box kick, so he should have taken time, got another player in, made sure that ruck was long enough to protect himself so the opposition couldn't block it. And then Grenoble made a real hash of catching what should have been a good attacking ball. Gave it back to Angoulême, but again, look, that was the worst attempt at the catch I've ever seen. Oh my days. But Angoulême, then after that, again, poor quality passing. One bad pass at this level of rugby, you're going to be shut down. You're going to have to go to your kicking options. Angoulême will be disappointed, especially Burgess, at that quality of the pass.
First set scrummage sees a free kick awarded there to Grenoble. Would expect to perhaps have a bit of an advantage with the experience that they possess, especially in that front five. And they move the ball quickly here up to the 10-metre line. Switched it back out to this near side now. But then well read and wrapped up by Pony Famosili. Further loose handling, giving the opportunity, but offside is the decision from the ref, so a penalty here.
Pardon, excuse-moi, j'ai mis du temps à réagir. C'est un contre du violet, le joueur est devant et l'hors-jeu. J'ai mis du temps à réagir, pardon, c'est ma faute. Hors-jeu sur le contre.
Referee taking responsibility
so I think,
for that
yeah,
one.
I think someone was offside from the scrum there.
See.
I think one of the players was offside from the scrum, and the ref was just a bit slow. He let play go on a bit before giving Grenoble the advantage that they should have had before. Now there we see the offside. Fausili was being a lazy prop after a scrum, getting up after pushing so hard, blowing out your ass. Trying to get back in the line is always difficult, especially when you're carrying around a derby like he's carrying around. It's difficult to get back over that line and get onside.
Well, Marc Palmier will be the kicker. Playing at fullback tonight, which is the first time this season. And he starts with a fine kick. Grenoble onto the board then.
Yeah, Grenoble on the board. The first time they've really put together any kind of phases before that scrum we just had. They're still certainly not a team firing.
Good touch. And a good exit. Let's see just how strong the wind is as it blows there on the touch judge's flag on the near side.
Yeah, I wonder if that'd be a factor at all. We've seen Angoulême put some good quality kicks in. Let's see if the wind is a factor, because it looks like it's blowing straight down.
Line out ball is very well collected in the middle of the line, but not really getting any traction off this in the maul. Lovely hands and the chip over the top. Just going to run too far.
That was lovely. So Tilsey was giving some great info to Levron. During that maul, he saw the short side was open. He couldn't free the ball up, Levron, so the defender shifted across to the other side, but then Levron made a great call, pinged it out to Tisley, who then hit the space out wide. Obviously something, though, identified that the winger was narrow, and they attacked that space, and because they're so far in their own half, the fullback's far away, they got a lot of time to run the ball up with a good quality kick like we saw. It's now got no opportunity in the opposition half.
Dear Megdud, in the meantime, was actually quite lucky that he didn't connect with the...
Yeah, it didn't like a great kick, did it?
That's why it was a free kick.
I don't think he actually let it bounce on the ground, did he?
It didn't look like it bounced on the ground, no. And we come back and... Scrum 5 metres out. And Soyaux Angoulême will have to put it.
I think that's why.
Great attacking position, great opportunity to add to their 7 points.
That is a hell of a cock-up from the winger. Ooh. And again, Tim will be rubbing himself in joy at seeing yet another referee penalise nines for not putting it in straight. It's a bone of contention with him, but I'm enjoying it as well. It means you've got to push and actually scrummage and hook the ball, which went away from our game for a bit, but now in Pro D2 and top 14, referees are going on it. That time, Levron fed the ball, and they've given up what was a magnificent attacking position. I'm sure we would have seen Nollet flying into the Grenoble defence. That is a massive opportunity missed for Angoulême.
Yeah, full return in the red zone for the home team, and they will be disappointed with that. To bounce back here as fast as they can. They've still got a decent field position. Line up ball taken by Arnold. Levron. Short pass there to Tilsey. Makes his way back up towards the edge of that 22. Levron goes again. This time it's through the other centre, Lafont. Fast ball back inside. Good defensive cover on this occasion. Referee encouraging them to play on. Bergès has to come in and fill in for scrum half. Good line speed from the defence. Ball does come back once again. No real momentum able to be picked up yet by Soyaux Angoulême, but they do now have the ball out wide, and Bergès looking to slice through. Tilsley. Not backwards once more. Referee's whistle goes, and it will be a penalty to the home team.
Yeah, I was kind of worried when Bergès took what was really slow ball and went for an intricate kind of block play at the line. But Tilsley again showing, for what is not a giant man, he's so powerful in contact. He can ride tackles, stay on his feet, and create opportunities for his team. And that time, after he fell, one of the Grenoble players, I haven't seen which one, stuck his hands on the floor, and you can see it clearly there. He sticks his hands on the floor before sliding back onto the ball. That is illegal. As soon as you touch the floor, you either counter-ruck or get out of there. Good penalty from the ref.
Decision to go for the line out. Well taken at the front of the line. The ball moving well. Tilsley comes into the back of it to try and lend his sizable weight to pushing forward. Levron waits, can see the ball. They're held up just short.
Whenever backs get involved in mauls, it always ends badly. There, I think Levron was pushing in the maul and ended up with the ball behind his back. What they're going to do here, do you think? Tap and go, or go for another line-out?
Oh, I reckon, yeah, I was going to say, looks like tap and go.
This is a hell of a carry for the first man who has to carry.
Wonderful little dummy there before smashing through from Faisalili. Ball now comes out again, up towards that line, currently being held up just short of it. Have the numbers out wide, if they can shift that ball. Lovely hands there from Tilsley as he got it into Mathis Lapont. Tilsley again, advantage being played to the home team. So a penalty is coming, and with the amount of infringements that are being committed by Grenoble inside the red zone, I'd be overly surprised to see a card coming out. Waiting again. Grenoble's defence stands firm for now, and another advantage being played. Again, Grenoble offside. Souris employé on that occasion. The home team, and you can hear their fans just willing them over the line now. Oh, was that? It wasn't lost backwards. Went backwards. Wasn't lost forwards, I should say. Referee saying it went backwards. They're still trying to drive up towards that line, still being held up, and actually being knocked backwards.
That was a horrible. That tackle, that last one, was a horrible low knee cutting tackle. Angoulême are a team, again, lower budget. Money buys you power. They got less power than Grenoble. It's really interesting seeing how they play, especially in the 22. Anytime they get fast ball, they pick and go for it. Support players having to be on their toes to stay with them. Intricate little movements they're making near the ruck time. Players pretending to pick and then sliding wide at the last second to try and create doubts about which attacker the defenders are taking. It was good to watch, but again, just that lack of power meant a few times near the line they couldn't quite get there. But really, I think I want to have another look at that tackle at the end. The tackle number 1 is now on the floor. It looked like it could be an issue.
The referee's just given that warning through to Thomas Plouet that any more infringements, certainly offside, is going to be rewarded with a yellow card.
Yeah, you saw that last clip was actually an accident. He didn't mean to do it. The guy's foot got caught in the synthetic pitch, and that doesn't move, and that's what happens sometimes.
Nearly at the end of the first quarter here. Only 4 points between the two sides, although it does look as though that should be reinstated to a 7-point lead after this penalty kick from Paul Bergès.
Yeah, I mean, Jono, what is the foodie aspect of your description online?
Oh, that all comes down to the fact that every year at the Tour de France, I do a recipe a day as they travel around or wherever it is in France, and sometimes they've been down to places like Betis and across to Florence a couple of years ago. So I get to sort of do quite a lot of different cuisine from around Europe, and that is the nature of the foodie element. And I think I'd probably post too many pictures of food as well, just when I have a good meal.
So right up my street. When they were in Yorkshire, what meal did you pick there?
Well, that was my very first year working on the tour, and I actually did poetry that year. So I probably dodged a bullet, I think.
Yorkshire poetry.
Yeah, I mean, I would have definitely done a Yorkshire pudding. It was because that year they also went through all of the First World War battlefields. So there was quite a lot of poetry that I could intertwine with that.
Siegfried Sassoon going on. Okay, hearing you.
Yeah, exactly right.
All right, let's get back to the rugby.
Looking to exit here. Angoulême, having just managed to get themselves back into a 7-point lead. That one carried forward by Kamausili.
Val Masili's gone for a lot of work. He's a big man, so he's got the fitness to maintain that. Ball rolled out, the young 9 again. Some issues around the exiting.
Well, it's been turned over. Great opportunity here. Souris. He's been enveloped and pull that away. Oh, I think frustration there from George Tilsley, because he really felt that he was on that. Along that line it goes. Nadia Megdud. Eventually hauled to ground. Fired out wide again. Suri flicks it back inside. They have the numbers here. Great covering tackle on Barnaby Couliot. There's going to be an offside call against Soyaux Angoulême on this occasion. So an opportunity for Couliot and for Grenoble perhaps to come away with more than just 3, which is all that they have for their efforts so far. Up to the 5-metre line. Ball goes again. And the referee will come back for the penalty. And well, just was that a little bit of inexperience there, Joe?
Yeah, so it's the second time he's been caught out at an exit ruck. It's a nerve-wracking moment for a young 9 to have the responsibility of making the kick that you have to do. You have to have a high quality quick and get things right. But I think there the ball had come out of the ruck. Obviously forwards may have been responsible. We were poor sight lines for seeing exactly what happened. But the way the 2 Grenoble players immediately went to the ball, I think the ball had actually exited. The referee was clear with them. They get on it, steal. Now there's a massive opportunity for Grenoble on the 5-metre line, all due to a young 9 or maybe some forwards ballsing up a simple exit ruck.
Line out ball taken cleanly, and another advantage being played here, and they are rather ominously moving up towards that line. Once again, the hosts this time who were told to leave the ball, helped on its way. The crunching tackle comes in just short of the line, but Couliot goes to Suri, who barges his way over.
Yeah, Dubec won't be proud of that one. He went for the interception. I think he was a mile off there. Should have played it safe. So there, Grenoble got over relatively easily compared to Angoulême, having to go phase after phase. He's still not getting over the line. Again, just a sign of the difference in the power of these 2 teams. The Grenoble team significantly more powerful. You can see here the young 9. Esteemed to have dragged the ball outside of that ruck. A good angle on what we're talking about just now.
A pretty simple finish there for Bastien Suri for his 2nd try of this season.
Yeah, I'm not sure Dubec didn't fancy the tackle or actually genuinely thought he had an interception opportunity. But he was miles off. You saw that win there, taking that ball. So it is relatively strong. I've seen some good kicks from Angoulême despite that wind, but maybe it'll be a factor for this game. So regarding the food, let's go back to food while I get this little pause. Actually, probably haven't got time now to talk food. Let's wait for the next pause, John, before we talk food again.
You let me know when you want to taste more food. The ball lost forwards there, so a free advantage here for Soyaux Angoulême to try and make the most of. Not only has there been a huge amount of work done by Mausili in carrying the ball, but then another massive hit and clear out from him as well.
He's having a little walk now, though.
Well, he'll definitely think he's earned it. Floated pass out wide. It'll take some power to come back inside, and power is demonstrated by Texier. Pick and go, rather than getting that ball out wide, which would seem perhaps to be a more sensible option. Referee's whistle goes, and going to come back.
Yeah, it's a shame that Bergès, we saw him sail through a gap earlier. I think he had an opportunity there again to take a big hole in front of him that Grenoble left. But it's an interesting, it's an interesting to see how much work Mausili's got through, because he's a big, big man. I hope he can maintain it, because he's one of the few players that can bring that power, carry and clear outs to this Soyaux Angoulême team. What's your favourite tour stage for food, then, Jonathan?
Oh my goodness, favourite tour stage for food? I mean, that's quite a question. I'm a massive fan of steak, and you can eat steak right the way across France. But I think when you get into the Auvergne region, which they tend to, because they go through the Massif Central, and always when I'm there, something either a steak with aligoté or a steak with truffade would be, it's sort of I suppose my death row meal in many ways, which is quite a gloomy way of looking at it, but it's one of my favourites.
The Limousin cow.
Yeah, love a Limousin cow, or when they're carved up.
God. I hope my microphone's not getting damaged from my saliva.
Berges added the 3 to put Soyaux Angoulême back into a 5-point lead.
Always on that.
Exit.
Great steal. Great steal. We see this here is a good read. So you want all your forwards to be able to steal ball, but you don't want them piling into rucks trying it all the time. This is a situation where the opposition have counter-attacked. The player got a bit of go forward, got half tackled, and then where he falls is perfect in front of the Soyaux Angoulême player. And he's straight on that ball really quickly. Zouer will be proud of that one. The ball stealing, jackling front row is always invaluable in a team.
He's done really well there, and actually, but he's quietly really got on with his work today, Zouer.
Definitely has. He's we've been noticed. Famou Ossili's done a lot of graft in terms of carrying and big moments, but I'd say Zouer's the other side, working hard, dogging away, covering from when he can't get off the floor and goes for one of his walks.
There's a loose line out there from the home team, which gives the ball back to the visitors Grenoble, and they in turn have an opportunity to try and counter here, and they've got the numbers around the ball on this occasion. Chance for that ball to go through the hands of the backs, and darting back inside. Relatively little of Georgi Kevazadze. Weaving run there as well. Carried with power up over the gain line. Now they turn to the boot, and it's to the boot of Boubillot, and that is a brilliant kick, and it is a 50-22.
We haven't talked about him at all yet. He's a magnificent player. His brother's a bit better than him, but he's not bad. Huh? That's the first time we've seen him tonight. He's not really made many runs yet, or darts like he normally does, but that kick was banging. They were going forward. As he styled to kick it, I was like, what's he doing? They have a fast ball 3 times in a row. There must be something on. But the space was in the backfield, and he saw it, I didn't, and he smashed it. Made the most out of that fast ball they created. Great play.
When you consider that Grenoble certainly haven't been the dominant force in this match, this is a great platform for them to get something to put themselves into the lead. Line-out ball is well taken by Thomas Ployer. Very, very close indeed to going horribly wrong.
I'm not sure what happened.
Arbitrage vidéo. Péchou, pour moi, c'est complètement cynique, d'accord. Je veux juste voir si
Some sort of
on est
cynical
sur
play,
son nombre ou
he's
pas.
saying.
S'il te plaît, c'est un
So he
défenseur en
wants to
repli.
look at what happened. Did someone do something illegal to knock the ball out of that Grenoble player's hand? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. We were blindsided. It was on the blind side of that maul.
Vas-y, je suis devant l'écran.
As the Grenoble maul broke off and went into the 5-meter kind of line, down the 5-meter line, we saw something happen. I'm not sure what.
Okay. Scrum half, he's saying that that's a completely cynical knock-on, and he's got no possibility of catching
On peut avoir le plan large, s'il te plaît.
Yeah, I didn't see not the fact how we missed that as from this angle. You couldn't really see it, could you?
No, you couldn't
Ok,
see it at all.
très bien, on va travailler avec ce plan-là. Donc,
Could
j'ai une décision, 9 violets, un avant volontaire,
Is
il y
there
a
a
un
winger
défenseur
behind?
en
Yeah, there's a
repli,
winger
donc on
behind
restera
him.
sur pénalité,
Might be
carton jaune.
right.
Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord avec ça?
He's in yellow.
Merci.
Another card here for Alexis Depont, but not a penalty try.
So he might have given a penalty try where there's no one else who could have defended that player. But yeah, he's cynical enough to be a yellow. That close to going out.
L'avant volontaire.
It's going to be a tricky period up to the break now for Soyaux Angoulême. Having to play the next 10 minutes without Alexis Levron, their scrum half, and to make matters worse, Grenoble now have this line out 5 metres from their line. Taken in by Plouillet once more, and they've looked powerful enough with a full complement of players on the field of play. Penalty try.
I hope there's no yellow as well here. Oh dear.
He's reaching into his pocket. It's going to be another yellow card, and he's going against Pone Mautili.
That is what you don't want to do. I mean, it's easy for me to say that now, but honestly, you're better off letting them score there than giving up another yellow card. Because, guys, 14 men, it's all right. You can cover, a bit less ambitious in attack, get your kicking game right. You can be okay. But down to 13, it's a massive difference. It's so much more space. It's so much more difficult to do anything. It's going to be a very long 10 minutes now. This could be a game-changing moment. And honestly, that's pretty harsh as well. Yeah, the ref should have been adamant and sure about that one, because this will change the game radically. Interesting.
Makes things particularly tough now.
Yeah, especially when the head coach is an ex-international referee as well, who's become a fantastic coach. But I'm sure as part of his remit, he must be very good at reducing the penalty count, and he probably won't be happy with what's happened so far, especially in the last couple of minutes. But honestly, I'm not sure it was evident. Soyaux Angoulême dropped it because part of the more collapsed before. Anyway, the ref might have had a great angle and made the call he made, so off we go.
I do wonder how Alexandre Ruiz, how he watches now, because with all of that experience he has as an international referee, he is going to be. He's going to cast an eye over things and get very frustrated, one imagines. Soyaux Angoulême looking for that gap, and suddenly it really opened up for them there. Opportunities potentially abound, and they've only got 13 up against 15, which ironically is the score as well. Jean-Maurice Découvert, the Belgian international, who has been brought on. It's going to be an exacting effort here. Keeping it tight, as they have done all game, but they can ill afford to consider that wide really at the moment, because they won't have the numbers. Encourage the player, Tilsley goes to the left-hand side. In this situation, Joe, are Soyaux Angoulême going to be looking to draw foul play
a drop goal
for a referee to try and level things up?
Yeah, the drop goal. Did that go over? Wow, it's like he kicked a bag of potatoes.
Somehow did.
It was like a bag of potatoes he's kicking. Somehow that went over, remarkable. But that's precious time. Look how much time they wasted. A couple of minutes there, picking and going. That is invaluable what they've just done. But again, there's still a fair while to go. But with 13 men, to waste a couple of minutes and get 3 points, especially with a kick like that one, it's a worker, huh? Yeah, especially with a kick like that one, they'll be over the moon with that. That's incredible.
Paul Budget now has the full set in this game, as this is very untidily dealt with.
You could tell that the positioning was diabolical. He did not read the ball. Obviously, there's a wind. You've got to read where the ball's going to fall. You can see here how the 20 completely gone too far forward. Didn't look comfortable under that kick in any way. If I was a Grenoble coach or player, I'd be saying every time we get an opportunity on a kick-off, kick it on him. He looked so uncomfortable under that high ball. There's Guillaume Gauthier, been at Soyaux Angoulême for many years at Bordeaux as a kid. Now he's a senior player. Wonderful man, good worker. They'll be missing him. Real good leader. Soyaux Angoulême have a number of injuries, and he's one of the more important ones. Club captain last year. The kind of guy you need on the pitch at a moment like now.
Well, they've had to bring on Seydou Diakité. He's on in place of Hubert Texier. That's due to the yellow card to Pone Pharma aussi. As you can see, still a long time for Angoulême to remain down at 13.
Yeah, masses of time. Really an efficient kick reception. Kicking to touch. Waste another minute or two. I think there'll be those kind of moments where with 13 men against in this situation. How can Grenoble not score now? That's how. By not putting it in straight. Incredible. Tim's deep pan piece has just hit the roof again.
I reckon he's probably bought himself a second one, but just his celebration.
Yeah, he's gone full American pie on his deep pan pizza in Chicago. That is incredible. That's amazing. What a big call from the referee. If it was true, what a terrible put-in from their player. Listen, oh no, he's mistouched.
Which does invite pressure to come back onto them when they could have been just taking their time to get up to the line-out. So little elements that slightly inexperienced 9 and 10 can bring to you. At the moment, 9's in the bin, and Paul Berges, who's had a very good game, is pulling away Raffa Costa-Storti's opposite number, Nadia Megdoud, number 11. Just a wonderful winger when he gets the ball in hand, goes, but there is some room, and calling for the ball was Costa-Storti. Hat-trick against Carcassonne in the last round. Not going to get his hands on the ball this time. Work from Soyaux. Barracking run from Barret. We've seen precious little of his ability to carry so far in this first half, but darting for the line against Soyaux, held up just short. They've got so many numbers out wide. Another pick and go. And the try is scored.
Yeah, it's a classic try when you're at 13. There's always an overlap. You end up giving up meters after meters, and if the attacking team just manage to hold on to that ball for long enough, after 6-7 phases, it's going to happen. Barret here just showing his power. Phenomenal. Oh, that missed touch. The coaches are going to be having kittens about missed touches like that.
Extras added. Thomas Ployer's try. With Marc Barmier notching over.
And this is going to be interesting. It's a kickoff. Normally you leave, many teams leave 3 in the backfield. So Angoulême down to 13. They're going to have to load that front line, or Grenoble will play. Is there going to be space in the backfield for Grenoble to kick to, or is there going to be space in that front line for them to counter-attack against? When you're playing at 13, there's going to be either one or the other. Let's see what happens.
Always got to look at this one.
Me toucher un but, ma décision de terrain c'est essai. Donc je souhaite que tu me montres une image qui me prouve le contraire, s'il te plaît.
So, I mean, the important words there from the referee are that he saw a try, and there needs to be clear demonstration that it wasn't a try. I have to say, when I just saw this replay a moment ago, I thought, well, that's grounded before the line. So I'm not so sure now.
Is it one movement though?
I still think that is grounded before the line, which would mean it's a double movement to carry it over.
I don't know, because that's the first movement. Has he fallen there and then one movement?
Donc j'ai une décision, ok. Le joueur vient aplatir sur la ligne, pas de main en dessous, donc essai.
Yeah, sticking with his decision.
Essai. Baptiste, essai.
It's not going to be popular in the Stade Chanzy, but the referee stuck to his guns. So Grenoble now with 3 tries. Need 22 points to 16, and Paul Berger's his missed touch proves very costly indeed.
Derrière.
Paul goes backwards. And is immediately brought into Cuya, and then Clément's hands.
Non.
2 players, 3 players in that ruck. Lucky knock-on, they would have been rinsed out wide there. Why are they over-competing with 13 players in the team? You've got to be so sure about any jackling opportunity. Because if you pile into a ruck and there's already a tackler in there, that's 2 more men down. You've got 11 guys on the pitch. Imagine 2 in the backfield, that's 9 in the defensive line. You're going to be in big trouble like they were there. The penalty is almost better for them. They're lucky that prop mishandled that pass, which was a terrible pass from Kuyu. Maybe because he's getting manhandled by one of the players in the ruck.
Opportunity still for Grenoble from this line out, because
Stop, il nous faut l'opposant lanceur, s'il vous plaît.
still got over 2 minutes.
Allez, on y va, blanc.
With Soyaux Angoulême down to 13, and even after one player returns, there will be further minutes to go until they're back up to their full complement. Line out ball is collected at the back there by Ananson.
Je.
Still to play on.
Placard. Quand vous sortez, vous apportez le ballon avec vous.
Yeah, so their
Oui, mais vous apportez le
tackle
ballon avec
wasn't
vous.
great. Tilsley then contested when one of the other tacklers had fallen in and on and around the ball,
Photo.
and that meant that it was a penalty. Okay,
C'est jamais, des fois, vous n'avez pas la distance.
it's going to be really interesting, and they get 25-16's not the end of the world with 13 men. But still, it could be a turning point.
Surprised here, Joe, that they are kicking for goal with still a minute and 30 seconds. If they kicked it into the corner,
A
they
little
take
bit,
the
yeah.
line out,
Yeah.
they maybe get themselves a try. I mean,
Ouais,
I find this a bizarre call.
Yeah, I do as well. I think at 13, you should be going for them all. I know it puts you 2 scores up, but still, there's a lot of rugby to be played still.
On target with the penalty again, Marc Pamier, who has kicked superbly so far, with the exception of one from the kicking tee, and it means Grenoble lead now by that margin of 9.
There's the president of Angoulême, a great guy, really into his rugby.
Ouais, je pousse.
Looking to make that tackle, and that is a huge hit put in there by Jean-Maurice Découvert.
Ooh la la.
But the numbers certainly are here for Grenoble if they can get it down that line.
Non,
It's a little bit stuck. It's come out well. Diakite is in there with the tackle. Well, one yellow card will be able to come back on at the next break in play. Well, that's a good tackle. Into touch made by Jules Vivek, demonstrating to us that he can tackle.
Yeah, I was giving him grief earlier for trying interception, but there he put his body on the line and smashed that guy into touch. They've got one more player back on the pitch, another one in 40 seconds. 9 points down.
Bien sûr. Arrêt du temps. Ce sera chaud de la mêlée.
Yeah, fair play to him. He got stuck in there. Oof, 9 points in it. 9
J'ai
points.
des crampes.
Really would love it if Angoulême managed to get a score on the board here. Unlikely in the last minute, but they got a line out of position. If they manage to create something here and get some sort of opportunity, I would love to see them get back within one score. Playing at 13 is so difficult. I would take the situation they had after that. Just conceding what they did. really would love to see him get a little score on the board, 9 points. They could reduce that to 6, that would be a gap, that would be fantastic.
Well, Liverpool is back. Farman is still on the sidelines, which means we have Seydou Diakité already packing down at tight head prop. This time nudging too early with too many honest scrums so far.
No, but the reserve tight head is looking like he's under massive pressure there for Angoulême.
Up and under is taken in by Grenoble, so they will know that with the time ticking down, we've just got the last few seconds to go, that they can either chance their arms, try and get a little more, or they can see it out, and it will be the latter, as this ball is nudged over the dead ball line.
Good booing coming for the ref, I think.
Definitely disappointment there for the home fans, definitely, but it's 2 yellow cards which really hamstrung them, because that gave...
I mean, 10 points have gone on the board during those 2 yellow cards. Both of them, it was due to an error, the reason for the field position. But yeah, 2 yellow cards, 10 points is probably about bang on what you're at least going to concede. They're still in this game, I hope. Let's see their character now.
Ici avec Bastien Souris. Bastien, auteur du premier essai grenoblois. Vous êtes avec le vent dans le dos, plutôt réaliste dans cette première période. Vous scorez à chaque fois que vous venez dans le camp d'Angoulême.
Ouais, on essaye de faire le nécessaire quand on est dans leur camp, de repartir avec des points. Pour l'instant, c'est ce qu'on arrive à faire. On va jouer contre le vent, donc on va devoir garder un peu plus le ballon. Mais on a fait 40 premières minutes, il faut finir le boulot, il en reste 40.
Merci, bonne seconde période. Et on va enchaîner avec Mathis Lafont, le capitaine d'Angoulême. Mathis, compliqué cette fin de première période. Il va falloir retrouver les valeurs collectives de Brive pour remonter en seconde période.
Ouais, on va peut-être faire comme ça, effectivement. Déjà être discipliné, parce que on prend 2 jaunes, on se retrouve à 13, c'est beaucoup trop difficile. Donc ouais, on va peut-être resserrer les rangs et s'axer sur la défense. Mais tout d'abord une grosse discipline, et ça nous entraînera sûrement vers la victoire.
Merci.
So, well, so we have both. I mean, most tellingly there, Joe, Soyaux Angoulême just recognising it was their ill discipline.
Yeah, I think, well, ill discipline, 2 massive moments. A young 9 who made the yellow card, and then a very loose maul. I don't think you can put that down to ill discipline.
Okay, it is 25 points to 16 to Grenoble at half-time here. Marked difference to the 3-all draw that we had last season, and more to come in the second half. Now, for those of you who are very observant will know that I am not Tim. Tim is currently on his holidays, and I think it's time for us to go and find out exactly what he's up to.
I want to watch the half-time show. It's amazing.
Bonsoir, gents. How you doing? Tim here, in Chicago, and I'm really sorry I can't be there. But I thought I would just take you on a bit of my journey with you. We take you all around France, but taking you around the world right here in Millennium Park in Chicago to watch Ireland against the All Blacks. So even when I'm not doing the commentary on FR UK, my life is rugby. I am the world's biggest rugby nose. But I've got to say, just look, let me be totally honest. I'm in Chicago right now. What am I actually doing? I'm thousands of miles from home. I've obviously got FR UK on, obviously. You know, I mean, some people have said about VPNs, I don't really understand all that. I'm just looking at the amazing content that we've got up there. And also, I'll tell you what, one thing, I haven't had a deep dish pizza yet, so if anyone's been to Chicago and tell me what is the choice between, I've had some people saying Lou Malnati, some people saying Gino's East, some people saying it's got to be Pequod's and it's worth making the effort out of town, but yeah. Do you know what? It is the one strange thing about being here versus what we normally do with FR UK is rugby's just not a thing. There are lots of Ireland fans about, which is going to change that. But when you go to France, I mean, rugby, the billboards, Antoine Dupont's faces everywhere. It's all NBA, NFL and stuff. But I'll tell you what, this place is not too shabby. Right, I'm gonna go and get a hot dog. One of the Polish ones with all the peppers, that's what I've been told. And I'm gonna watch the second half of the game. But thank you, Jonathan, for having my back. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and go and check out all the other amazing content we got going on. Right, Joe?
That quarterfinal, South Africa, France, amazing game. Let's have a look at the stats. So the ball in play, 33 minutes. South Africa had 8 entries, France had more, 11. South Africa had only 40% possession, only 37% territory. Offloads only made 5 against France's 15. Line breaks just 6 against 13 line breaks for France. Let's come back to the ratio in a minute. Okay. Turnovers, South Africa made 15 to 14 by France. And last one, kicking, a very important statistic. We'll look at the kicking statistics more a little bit later. What I would like to look at now is that ratio. That ratio is line breaks divided by turnovers. So for every turnover you make, how many line breaks do you get? And you can see the difference between South Africa, who only get 0.4. Then you got the France attack, which is making nearly 1 line break every turnover. Their ratio is far higher. That means their attack is far better. And when I mean attack, it's not just when they're having launch plays off lineouts. It's how they attack after a turnover, after a kick chase. It's different scenarios around the attack that create these opportunities and line breaks that we're judging that score on. I want to compare the two teams kicking, and to do that, you've got to work out when they got possession, how many times do they kick? But it's not just how many times they kick total in a game. South Africa had 40% possession. They had 13 minutes of possession compared to France's 20. Okay, yes, in the attack. That's still look in at the stats. You can see per minute, France are making over twice as many offloads, per minute a third more line breaks, and they're making less turnovers than South Africa. But if you work out per minute how many kicks South Africa are making against France, there's a considerable difference. That's where South Africa are ahead, and that shows you that's part of their game that's so strong and created so much during that match. And that's what we want to look at in the stats going forward. I'm really looking forward to this game so much because I want to see how France has developed with their kicking game. It's been something they've worked at really hard for the last 4 or 5, 6 years. They know with their kicking game, when they execute well, when they execute quality kicks, quality chase and defend well behind it, they're going to get people kicking the ball back to them, and they get these kind of opportunities where they're deadly. One of the turning points of the Ireland game, that counter-attack, yellow card, couple of scores after. Key moment created by good quality French kicking. Listen, France in attack are still high quality because they can do this. They can play many phases, and when the moment comes to accelerate, get an arm free, make the offload, boom, they flood the channel, they go for it, and they cut you. Accelerating the play, scoring incredible tries we all love to see. But France still, even recently, do still struggle when you get these contestables. There are still scenarios around that kicking game under pressure that have turned games. England, such a close match. We'll look at the stats more closely when we release the content during the week. But again, that moment where France mishandled a kick from England led to the try that won the game for England at the end. It's still an area they're working on. South Africa, on the other hand, that's different. They've been trying to develop their attack over the last couple of years, trying to become a team that attacks more dangerously. Listen, they've still maintained this kicking ability, high quality, contestable kicks. South Africa have always been good at using these moments after they win these contestable kicks to punish the opposition, but they've got even better recently, partly due to the discovery of several amazing players, and probably partly due to the fact they've tried to be a team that can become more threatening when they have the ball in hand. Now, this journey they've been on has led to some pretty special moments for that South Africa team with that incredible win in New Zealand. But in other games, they've been clunky. Yes, they've still got this physicality at scrum time and with brute force carries that can create opportunities for them. This kind of play is part of South Africa's DNA. These kind of attacks, they've been doing for a century. They are brilliant at this. It's what's won them so many World Cups. But they have been a team who's been trying to develop their attack to score more points than they have done previously. It's been a rough road. Some games that they've lost, the attack's been poor. The game they lost against New Zealand, their attack was terrible, creating one line break. And this Australia game, some brilliant attack, but then loads of turnovers. They didn't kick nearly as much as normal, and they end up losing 38 points to 22. So look out this week for some great content, statistical content. We go deep into it, trying to find out what they've done in the last couple of years, how the teams have evolved, try and work out what's going to happen in Paris when those two play for the first time in 2 years.
So remember, Roast Beef Rugby, great podcast you can find through all of the usual channels, and that is where you get loads of your information from as well, concerning the top 14 and Pro D2 upcoming matches. We've got Grenoble up against Béziers, and that one is on Thursday, November the 6th. Coverage starting at the normal time of 10 to 8. Then on Sunday the 16th, coverage starting late in the evening at 10 to 8 for Vannes against Grenoble. And the other game coming up in November.
Brive v Colomiers is going to be an incredible match between a team that has to win and a team that has been winning since the start of the season, Colomiers. And Colomiers now into that second block, and we talked about it at length before. They're a team who needs to start winning against the big sides. Okay, so yeah, hopefully some of you watched that statistical analysis. It wasn't really analysis, it was more of an introduction into what's coming during the week. Been looking into that match. I'm so excited about the France-South Africa game. So excited that I'm going to still pause it a little bit and just go back to watching some of these tries we saw from the first half. Smoking start from Angoulême. Pretty sweet, that one. Pretty sweet try from the young 10. Yeah, Johnny May giving him a pump up in his interview, and him showing everybody what he can do. Still get young halfbacks, made some errors around the exiting, giving an opportunity to Grenoble. Really, saw Angoulême, they can't give up these easy entries that they have done in that first half. This try could have been completely avoided. And then we're going to see penalty try, yellow card, down to 13 men. In fact, really, Angoulême did very well to concede so few points during that period. It's taking a 10-point hit. Now, I hope that 9-point deficit's not too much for them to overcome towards half-time. No, but I want to get back to that France-South Africa game. I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. Tim's going to go and watch it live. I might try and go and join him. It's going to be incredible. And watching and reading up about the games those two teams have played in the 2 years between that game and now, they've both been on a journey. France trying to get more efficient with their kicking game, trying to chisel down even more on their attacking game. Had a ropey first year after that World Cup. They've been coming on and they've been one of the best attacking teams in the world. South Africa have been trying to develop their attack, and in the stats and the content we showed during the week, there's some really interesting insights into when it's worked, when it's not worked, and how it's also affected the other side of their game. They've got that raw physicality they're always going to have, but that kicking game brings them so much. And when the attack maybe dominates the agenda and that kicking game slides off a bit, then they're not quite the team they were. But when they get both of those areas right, they are frankly unbeatable. So it's really intriguing to see what's going to happen in this game coming up. Yeah, so John smashed a Limousin steak in, and I was just reading on the chat, some South African friends are saying that Limousin steak wouldn't even get into the top 5 in South African qualifications. Dissing the Limousin steak, John. What do you think about that? What do you think about that one, mate?
I mean, that just doesn't surprise me really. That sort of goes quite well with the arrogance. I do think that really fascinating your piece there on that France-South Africa game, and I just wonder how much will go into that game of the memory of the fact that it's going to be nearly 2 years since that exact night when France, who for all love of money, just it was their time. They were going to win the World Cup on home turf, and it just came down to the single point in an extraordinary game of rugby. But I just wonder how many of those demons they'll carry out onto the pitch.
I think they're underdogs because South Africa put in some banging performances. Yeah, they lost to Australia. They're still looking good. They're missing several players through injury that are pretty important for the team. I think the narrative around it might be going in as underdogs. When the French go in as underdogs, anything's possible. But honestly, yeah, I still think South Africa apparently are gunning for this one. With the Japan game, they're going to go loaded with the team they want to start against France to make sure they're battle hardened even more so and prepared fully. So, I don't know. I'm seeing a South African victory, really. It is interesting, huh? And the team selection South Africa going to go for, the halfbacks, it's been the last 2 years they've rotated around various different players trying to get the right blend of attack and the kicking game. And it's still something they're searching for. Anyway, here we go.
Here we go. Second half is underway, and immediately that ball claimed. Both teams back to their full complement of 15. Grenoble leading by 9 points after kicking that penalty towards the end of the half. The wind, well, is going to be in Soyaux Angouléme's favour in this second half, as we get to see Francois May really for the first time in the game managing to have a run, but then loose handling. And Grenoble picked that ball back up, and we will come back for a Grenoble scrummage.
Ouch, yeah. That was a pretty brutal little flick on. Stationary. Player outside him not prepared for it. Certainly not running onto it. Made up for a bit, trying to steal the ball back, but still it's a good scrum opportunity for Grenoble here. A lot of pitch to defend. They're in their own half, 50-22 options on the board, so the back three have to hold off, have to control out even more. So at the very least on this first phase, Grenoble should be getting 20-30 metres of territory and fast ball at the end of it.
Well, we have a straight put in for the first time in a long time. We do. I don't think the crowd felt it was particularly straight.
I'm just trying to work out what that was for. Free kick, so it must have been, well, maybe not straight.
Free kick given as it gives an opportunity there for Richie Arnold to carry for the first time. Really set the tone from Grenoble's defensive perspective when they smashed Arnold back, and you've got another Soyaux Angoulême player down on the ground at the moment who's just worn one. Bit of momentum from a man who will certainly know that he's got a point to prove, Fayassili, and that ball looked up beautifully to Mathis Lafont.
Non, c'est vous qui le bloquez. C'est vous qui le bloquez, 6. C'est vous qui le bloquez.
Referee speaking firmly there to Boyer, who is lying on the ground and is told to roll out of the way. The ball picked up by Fayassili. Continues to do plenty of work, and he's managed to break clear, and he slips the ball off, and it's Alexis Levron who goes over. The two men who were yellow carded in that first half combine to get the opening try of the second and bring Soyaux Angoulême right back into it.
I want to see that again. That was very unusual. How did Fayassili get the ball away and get through? Was he kind of latching on and just ripped the ball out as the ball carrier went down? Carried on with a sneaky pick and then slipped it to his 9 who read the, who supported really well. Let's have a look now. Did a little pass. Carried on. I think there might be a knock on. I think the ball rolled out of the ruck. We'll have to wait and see were a Grenoble player who did it. Let's have a look in a minute. They're going to get a good angle on that one.
We need to see it from a little bit earlier. My instinct was that the ball had been knocked forward, but because nothing happened, the referee said nothing.
Ça a été vérifié, c'est un pied blanc qui ramène le ballon dans
Yeah,
votre camp.
it's the foot of the Grenoble player that knocks it out, so it's game on, try time. You saw the yellow boot of the Grenoble forward, the heel knocked the ball out.
Parfait, merci.
Forwards, Faisili read it well. Dragged the player along. Offload, try. Awesome.
Well, they want to tidy up these receptions because they have been particularly poor in the first half. That ball launched downfield, still going.
Yeah, that's
Picked up now by Marc Palmier.
that is a win for Angoulême, if ever I've seen one. That is a sign of the wind as well. So they're pumping it long. 15 thought it might roll dead, which would have given an amazing scrum position back, but he misread it, had to pick up, and against the wind only got a few meters. So now it's another opportunity for Angoulême in Grenoble's half.
Yeah, great start to the half.
John, what's the dish of Angoulême? Do you know? The Charente, I suppose, wouldn't it be there? What's the local dish?
Yeah, I have to be honest. The tour
It's too boring a flat.
frequently make its way down here, so I can't off the top of my head remember anything. The only thing, the piece of information, this was thanks to the Roast Beef podcast that I learned about Angoulême, is that it has the third biggest comedy festival in the world.
Okay.
But that doesn't help you with food.
Comedy festival, the French comedy festival. Interesting.
I know where you're going there.
Oh no.
Very dangerous territory.
No, they can be very funny. It's just I think you only really realise you're grasping the language when you start laughing at certain things. But yeah, so Angoulême, there you go. Someone online, someone please tell us what is the signature dish of Angoulême.
Well, the referee doesn't really appear to have been particularly on top of the scrum so far. But then neither the scrum halves. So imperative there for Angoulême to get the first points of this second half, and the fact that they've got a try that was converted to bring it back to just 2 points, hugely important.
Get some feedback online about Angoulême. The dish is Savoy chips. I don't believe that one is correct.
All into the backs for Grenoble, and finally they managed to get it right the way down the line, and an opportunity to chip back inside. That should sit up nicely though. Pressure applied. Strong carry. Découvert was there, hoisted forwards, and certainly going to see that back three defend deeper in this second half due to the fact that
He breaks so many tackles.
rolls down the stadium, and that's a good run from Migdou. However, unable to release it on the ground, and so Angoulême get the put in.
Big call. Big long kick from the young nine using the wind. Counter-attack from Grenoble. Yeah, they missed the first hit, but then they get hold of what is a very powerful ball carrier. He's broken a lot of tackles today, and they manage, as he's going down, to force a knock-on. Hard to see with those images there. "47 minutes in, still on the pitch. I suppose did 10 minutes off, gave him a little pause. Maybe they're going to roll him out to 60 minutes, but he certainly looks like a player who is a 45-minute prop forward. He's had a very good game in terms of actions. But how long can he keep going for? We've seen the reserve prop come on. Scrum time looked a whole different picture with him on. they'll be a weaker side when he's off the pitch. So again, a scrum time in a dangerous position for Angoulême this time.
Raccourci à liaison et genou au sol.
So he's penalising Fasili for putting his knee down at the start of the scrum.
Max Clément has the ball in hand then, so he's got to try and find touch, and it's, as we saw in the first half, not necessarily the easiest thing to find touch, and that's exactly what's happened there. The ball hoisted back downfield, not with perhaps as much interest as I think Leron would have wanted.
Sur la ligne, long, sur la ligne. Restez là, s'il vous plaît. Regardez. 5.
Souris then finds his man, Thomas Ployer, who scored the last try that Grenoble managed at the back of the hand. Defence up fast, but some angles to try and exploit, and gaps will presumably start to open up. Referee waves open play, and then Grenoble infringe on the ground, so good opportunity here.
Yeah, it was a great steal from the 6. Came under intense pressure from Souris, coming in to clean him out. And he locked onto that ball and held on. If you survive that, if you get locked on quickly and you survive for 3 seconds on your feet, normally a referee will give you that penalty, which has led to a big moment and a kick down to their half. Out the back here, looks good, but I don't think it goes to the right man. It goes to the winger and not the 9.
Well, if there's one thing a French director's going to love, it's one-handed pass out the back of the hand from a hooker. Doesn't matter who it goes to.
Yeah. Here we go.
Phenomenal
Big
touch,
moment.
just been found by Paul Bergès. And so, what can Soyaux Angoulême do here?
Derrière par le blanc.
Non, terminé, backwards.
Le ballon est là.
That line out must be
Mamadou Meite.
frustrating for the coaches. Jeez.
Ballon là. Restez là.
Oh, so frustrating for Angoulême. They're a team, the 7 got in position. He waited an age until the throw came and he jumped. The timing was all off. Shame we can't see him there. Gave the Grenoble defence time, line-out defence, time to get in position. He wasn't there so early, and he's so light, they're 7. They should be there, putting him in the air early as the throw's getting thrown. And the Grenoble team shouldn't be anywhere near that. It's going to be very frustrating for the coaches of the Angoulême team, because that's yet another opportunity in the 22 where they ballsed up a line-out. They probably should have won.
Well, Sekeli Nabu comes off for Boom. Canada. And another advantage to be played here. Oh, that's a loose pass. Back they will come, and quite loose from both sides in the opening 10 minutes of this second half, with the exception of the try.
Yeah, I think the second half still settling down, trying to find their rhythm. There's been a few too many mistakes to get a decent tempo going in terms of the attack. A lot of pressure on the set pieces as well, a lot of scrum pens, a lot of line-out errors, which again stops the game from flowing more freely. So they're a poor call, and the Grenoble team again messing up an Angoulême line-out. Again, a cracking position for a launch play here. Let's hope the scrum's stable. And we can see players like Tilvey running at the opposition.
Just needs better execution on this occasion from Soyaux Angoulême.
Arrêt du temps. Les 2 premières lignes.
The ref's had enough. It's been really unstable. We've seen a lot of issues, free kicks and penalties around the scrum. He's going to have a word. Yeah, so there's one scrum, he's saying. We've managed to play one scrum since the start of the game. Sort it out, he's saying. So hopefully this stays stable. And we can see Angoulême launch their backline into this.
Okay? You keep stability.
Richie Arnold, giant man. Really good years at Toulouse. Really did well for him. An enormous human. I wonder if he thinks limousine steaks any good. Or do you reckon he's going to have strong opinions?
I don't think he'll have strong opinions. I think he probably just eats an entire cow.
Famo Vasili would definitely enjoy tucking into a limousine steak. Oh my days.
Nudge on that one. Just dealt with by Nollet. Get it moving. So much work there for George Tilsley to do. Loose again into the backfield. It's gone backwards, so Soyaux will hold on to the ball, but it's untidy and they've gone backwards.
Oh,
well, that was
stupid penalty.
Absolutely ridiculous play from Jan Lestrade. No need to do it.
Dumb centre. Come on, dude. They're slow ball. They're going to be under massive pressure. You're probably going to have an opportunity coming your way. And instead, he keeps counter-rucking and smashes the 9, giving up an easy penalty. Very naive. You can see the pressure that Angoulême scrum is under now. Really intense pressure. They're going to have to get that ball out sharpish every scrum they get from now on.
A lengthy kick, this one, for Burgess, but he does have the wind behind him. No doubt about the distance, the accuracy is good, and Angoulême, trailed by 9 at the interval, find themselves after 53 minutes back in front by 1.
Some important news coming in about the local delicacies. Someone's saying mussels. I'm not sure, but Angoulême's pretty far from the coast. It's in the Charente. I get it. But still, surely someone out there knows what the local dish is.
I mean, I'd be surprised if it was mussels. I mean, they'd have to be river mussels.
Maybe something to do with cognac. He's put a good innings in. Take off for 10 minutes. He managed about 43 minutes. That's pretty good for a big man like him.
He played really well as that ball is collected fantastically from the restart. On by the white, so an opportunity now for Clément to accelerate in. Megadud spent most of his time running sideways this evening. Découvert is there to make the tackle. Riding a couple of challenges there. And Angoulême just need to keep their discipline, hold their line, hold their shapes, and not allow their defensive line to be breached. Grenoble looking to prize an opening.
J'ai le contact à la tête.
Megadud. That one out, up to halfway, ball's gone loose. Dave once again. Some good counter-rucking there from Mate. Time Nansen was the player taking it into contact. He's got Matthias Paré over the top. Create a little bit of space down the outside, the back of the hand. Very nearly hacked forward there by Texier. But now, here's the chance. Antonin Boyrier gets that ball back inside once more. To the edge of the 22. This is one of the best series of phases of play we've seen from either team in this entire game. Retaining the ball, not committing unforced errors, keeping that momentum going forwards, keeping their opposition guessing where they're next going to strike, and Grenoble have then, after all of that flattery from me, given the ball away.
Ooh, still on.
Just kept in play.
Je plaquage ici.
It's going to be some tired legs in a few moments' time. Souris manages to get it over the top into the hands of Bourrier. Advantage now being played. That ball's gone forwards, and so referee signals the penalty. High tackle.
Oh wow! Listen, that was a great sequence of play. Really interesting. One or two offloads. Grenoble lucky to hold on to it. So if Angoulême managed to hold on to this, 13 men going 9 points down, if they managed to hold on to this after being so far away, I definitely think tonight Didier, their president, is going to be taking them to his local restaurant and put his credit card behind the bar, like he does do when they have great victories. Johnny May said it's one of the best nights he's going to have, and hopefully tonight we'll be seeing that happen.
I mean, maybe Johnny May can find out what the local delicacy is for us.
Maybe they could order it at the restaurant where they've got the carte blanche to spend what they want. Do you reckon there are any club owners or presidents of English clubs that would do the same thing? Orange from Soyaux, I definitely think he would. If they had a good win, he would definitely take the lads out. I think he does, actually.
I think there are plenty who would like to. Just a question of how many of them can afford it, I guess. Some of you players have got very expensive taste.
Yeah, I think Bruce Craig probably wouldn't flinch at a bottle of Magnus or something like that. Expensive taste.
Really pushing the boat out. So, off comes Bastien Souris, replaced by Lilian Rossi. Going down the line, into that wind. And just look, only made about 12 metres with the penalty kick, but they still do have a line out inside the Angoulême 22.
Yeah, real acute angle he had there. He couldn't do much better than that.
Almost claimed in the air. In the end, Anthony Boyer managing to get that ball.
What a clumsy prop. Was it? Oh, which number was that did that? That was phenomenal. I hope that's on his highlights reel. His attempt to pick it up after he knocked it backwards was remarkable.
Julien Herito coming onto the pitch for Yann Lestrade.
Herito, a fine player. Could add more to the attack. We've only really seen that one long sequence from Grenoble where they've held onto the ball. Change of attack coaches recently. Nicolas Nadeau being pushed out the door. So now he really had his team purring in the last couple of years with their attack. One of the big features of their side. Be interesting to see if they can reach those heights again with a new coaching team.
Well, on that occasion, the hook was not good, and as a consequence, they found themselves losing one in the push, and that really made a difference in that scrum, and tapped, and off we go. High tackle. Grenoble will fancy this. Ployer. Score of their last try. Now they have a free shot at something here.
Ok, c'est bon pour moi aussi. Second, Flacker sort pas. Jouez-le.
Kuyu waits for the ball. Little dink in behind. Is what he attempted. Got the return. Tries to keep it in play.
Pas d'avantage.
Oh, that was a great bit of skill. I hope the cameraman goes for that again. Did you see one-handed pickup? He was only running to touch, so he knew he was going to get smashed into touch. Threw it over his shoulder to 9.
Là, ici, le plaqueur.
Beautiful bit of skill. I think it was Barry.
Plaqueur sort pas.
But I'd like to see that again. But the scrum is going to become a big issue now. A big friend from Tonga, a big Tongan friend, I believe, is off now, and that Soyaux Angoulême scrum is now looking like it's going to cause problems every single time. Here you go, look at this. Just a nice bit of skill under pressure. Yeah, so
It's pointed towards.
Yeah, if you're conceding penalties at every scrum, you're under pressure at every single scrum, that can be it's going to be a massive drain on the Angoulême side in what is going to be a very close game.
On target once more. I'm impressed with the kicking capabilities of Marc Palmier. 26 points before coming into this game. He nudges Grenoble back into the lead. 20 minutes to play. Angoulême 26, Grenoble 28. Ball not taken cleanly from the restart, but Grenoble do manage to come up with it. Some quite tired looking tackles being made out there at the moment. Got another 20 minutes to go. Little dink over the top, which could be wrapped up. Oh, just runs away. Frustration there. Thought he was through and onto it, Georgi Keveladze, but just wouldn't stick. But at the moment, Joe, as you've been pointing out, not necessarily that much of an advantage. A scrum coming the way of Soyaux Angoulême.
Yeah, it certainly could be a interesting point, but Grenoble do this well, so when they start getting go forward and they have players running tempo off 9, it's pretty cool. So you got the runner come in and you just tap him a little dink over the top. On the synthetic especially, it really sits up. Normally it's a good option if the man's flooding onto it. But let's see how this scrum does now. The number 8's going to have to be so geared up to get that ball out. Manu Soubous there, the number 19 for Soyaux Angoulême, one of the halfbacks missing tonight. Man, that was not straight, huh?
Tilsey. First chance to run and feed the ball back inside to Découbert, who was well tackled in the end by Barret. Little bit of footballing skill keeps that alive, and in the end, nudged into touch by Nadir Megdoud because he felt under pressure.
Yeah, it was, if in doubt, kick it out from him there, but Angoulême really piled the ball out of that scrum, and they actually got a nice bit of movement. Tilsley again creating an option. Shame they couldn't get the offload there. Would have really accelerated the play. A little bit lucky with the rebound hit.
Decent position for the line out, but they need to hit their men. Change is made. And off goes Alexis Levron to be replaced by Baptiste Escoff,
who looks even younger.
I mean, so much said about this young man. Scored a try in that victory against Brive. I mean, how hard is it for someone of his age, and he is only 20 years old, to be compared and being labelled the baby Dupont?
Baby Dupont. Nice.
Penalty.
Mettez la main au sol et vous touchez le ballon, monsieur. Vous empêchez le relayeur de jouer le ballon. 7 blancs. Cette blanche sur le contraire pose la main sur le ballon, le ramène dans son camp et empêche le 21 violet de le jouer.
So the ref penalising 7 there. He was counter-rucking, his hands are on the floor. Still interfered with the playing the ball.
Jeff Thompson, the man who was penalised there, and he's proved it's well within range, and so as a consequence, decision is to go for goal again.
A little bit harsh. That 7 dominated that collision. A lot of referees will, if they have any doubt about the legality of what someone's doing, if it's the team that dominated the collision, be it in attack or defence, they'll give that player more leeway. And there, 7 literally judicated that player round, slammed him on the floor, counter-rucked. I think that was a harsh decision from the ref.
Home fans let you know straight away, as soon as it left the boot, that one was sailing over. And as a consequence, Soyaux Angoulême are back into the lead by 1.
Come on. Their night out's back on the cards.
The ball collected by Jermaine Bogoudou. Escoff waits. Waits that kick. Taken in by Palmier. Once again, they've got to go through the phases here, Grenoble, which they've successfully done at periods in the game. And one man who can certainly do it is Megdoud. Holds it up well. Puts the ball out wide.
Good D there from
Angoulême.
Angoulême.
Anguish from the home fans, and they're listened to by the referee.
Grenoble are counter-attacking everything. So every counter-attack, they've gone for it. They're trying to get to the width. But Angoulême really went all in there. They took so much line speed, went really high. Grenoble had to pass the ball deeper and deeper. They nearly got an edge, but in doing so, forward pass. So that exit from Angoulême, success. A decent kick, decent chase, some good deed out the back. And now they've got an opportunity in Angoulême's half.
Both of these teams have been involved in close matches already this season. Grenoble losing away at Brive by 24 points to 21, and they won 20 points to 17 up against Nevers, whereas just recently losing at home against Biarritz, Soyaux Angoulême losing by 1 point. So these teams have been to the wire, and they know what it's like to be in this situation. Soyaux Angoulême, though, so far this season, haven't managed to see a close game home. Referee lets this play on. Nice move in the backs to get it out wide. Brilliant running.
It. Look at that
acceleration towards the corner, and we'll finish it off.
That was a banging try. And that's another player that Johnny May bigged up, and I can see why. I've not seen that pace before from him. That was phenomenal. What speed. Can't wait to see that one again. They fix that defender. Georgi Kwesik. And then he just, at full tilt, smokes into the line, hits the hammer. Just gasses the cover winger coming across. Wow, that was phenomenal. I mean, it was all made from that initial pass. Whoever took the ball to the line there with his support line really fixed the defence. So the centre couldn't slide off any earlier than he could. And when he slid off, the ball was already in the air, going in the path of, let's watch this, no good, going in the path of Dubek. And my God, with that amount of space, he just nailed it. He nailed the finish.
A lovely play from Jules Dubek.
Yeah, that pass
great
there, you
hands
see it?
into the line.
Yeah, you see how he took it going straight. He was going fast enough. Fix those two guys. Make the money pass, and you get things like that out the back. A try of beauty.
Well,
You're
another player
very-
that we've been looking forward to seeing, Samuel Bilbarret, a name that many will be familiar with, comes on to make his bow here for Grenoble.
How old is he? I think he's like 18 or 19, I can't remember. The younger one.
6 points the difference there from the restart, and it's not dealt with well. Knocked forward by Soyaux Angoulême straight away, giving Grenoble a great front foot ball here inside their own 22. Really unforgivable to restart like that. So the advantage continues. Ball ripped away. So the advantage over. Iskov has the chance to clear.
And I think there's a hand on that, so it's going to be their ball as well. Hey, that is so frustrating.
It's going to be their ball. That's
so
what it sounded like.
So frustrating. Angoulême nearly given up another opportunity for Grenoble, purely because they had somebody who can't catch a rugby ball in a position where you need to catch a rugby ball. You should stick players like that in lifting positions around people that can catch. Tilsy's gone off, right? He's looked in there. He really made a big difference to this tie tonight.
That ball stolen by Grenoble. So this ball back in their possession, but then that was a wild pass that was flung far too far out in front.
Again, you
couldn't get on the end of it.
You can't make errors like that. They're professional athletes. They should be technically capable. Herito throws a pizza of a pass out there, just diabolical pass. That is shocking, really, from Herito, who is normally a very good player. The attack is of Grenoble, like I say, one good sequence to play tonight. It's been pretty dull otherwise.
Line out ball taken off the top of the line and into the midfield where Grenoble have managed to keep this up to a maul, so they now need to make sure they keep them on their feet. And that's going to be a turnover.
You can hear him cheering away there. So, as the player ran in, the Grenoble, or Angoulême player ran in the ball in, there, 20, gets caught high. And the player gets a shot on the ball straight away. And he had an opportunity to go down straight away, but he carried on driving his legs, which took him forward. We're just looking at that wonderful pass that fixed all those defenders. Just admiring again, this pass fixing so many defenders. It can't slide off. Georgi Kwesic has to wait so long for to get off his man. And then boom, try time. Massive moment. Still 6-point game though, still one score.
Mathis on to Paul Vergès. And then Jules Debec brought in to finish it off. Finish it off in some style. He did.
Interesting scrum defence setup from Angoulême there. They should go this way, it's on all day. Reverse.
Back, nice hands here. That went forwards.
It's a shame, I want to see a Bilbarret have a little run. See what he's made of.
Interesting one for me here. I don't think that Kebaladze makes any particular effort to catch this ball.
I think the pass is forward though, as well.
Slapping it forwards. You know, when you see it in a defensive situation, that's going to be a penalty, minimum. Changes to be made.
Giant man is off. Nabu's back on, the Fijian descent. I think he's again a good player. But with these older guys, they've got to manage them, and in French rugby you can almost have rolling subs with your forwards.
Flexion. Lié.
If I was the number 8 for Angoulême here, I'd be literally in the slips, ready to get this ball out.
Flexion. Lié. Je.
Amazing.
That's a huge goal.
Amazing.
Palmausili and Arnold delighted by it.
I mean, I think the call was from the far side, from the touch judge. I think that arm action is pulling down the opposition, pulling down the loose head's arm, but I didn't see it. Ooh. Oh my days.
Oh, he's put it straight out.
That is a huge moment. He went all in for the 5 metre and has now given Grenoble a scrum opportunity. Moments like that again can come back to haunt you. 7 minutes.
7 minutes,
48
absolutely
seconds
no
left.
need to do that. Didn't need to go 5 metres from the line.
No, that is
Knew
a
the wind
shocker.
was in his favour as Ployer makes way for Noué Tiraboué.
Imagine having an older sibling who was amazing, coming up like him. Must be tough.
Flexion. Lié. Je. Ballon d'or. Je, ballon d'or.
Well, great play there, and Escoffre managed to get round and put real pressure and make the tackle on Guyot. Finally, they get the ball back, but well, some real metal reinstalled in the Soyaux Angoulême scrum at the moment. They're not being laid to waste as they were for much of this second half.
Les mains, lâchez, lâchez.
However, need to keep their discipline here and prevent Grenoble managing to slice through their lines. Little nudging behind the back, it's taken a deflection. Play on, says the referee. But Palmier makes a couple of yards. All wrapped up again. And turned over. Maite. Keeping this ball alive, but they're being driven backwards in his scope.
That was a great ruck play from that player who just anchored down on the ball there, saved them a turnover.
Les deux dans la chute. Je.
Mamadou Maite managing to hold that ball in. 6 minutes to go. 34-28 as this ball goes up in the air. Almost perfectly weighted, and Palmier tried to rip that ball away from him, Nathan Parissier. Down the short side they go though, and it's a break on. Delaying that pass. Great power to keep the ball in play there from Canadze, but lovely break from Barnabé Couillou. Now they go to the far side. Ball recycled, helped on its way by Josh Thompson. Home fans trying to lift their team once again in this defensive effort. Grenoble looking dangerous as they go coast to coast. Couillou. Better pace on the ball with these phases once again from Grenoble. Fired through and a big strong carry there from Matthias Barret. Dubec calls back into line. Great offload, but picked up, and then was it needlessly kicked away? This one might run. 3 players tracking back here on Marc Palmier, who is under pressure and flings a Hail Mary under the posts to keep this one alive for Grenoble, and then there should be some defensive holes behind as Barret gets his first chance to run on the ball. It is opening up in the final 5 minutes here with Angoulême leading by 6. Once again, Mathis Barret carries the ball up towards halfway. Referee ensuring that Soyaux Angoulême stay onside. Play ball back and another half break made. Ball retention better from Grenoble recently. Kuyu. We'll look again, up over halfway this time. Good work by Meite over the ball. Has he managed to turn it over? The answer is...
Come and go.
Yes, he has. De Coubert keeping it tight. With 3 minutes to go, the home fans starting to celebrate. Ball hoisted up into the air. Not backwards by this man, Marc Palmier. He sets on his way, flicks it along the line. That's a great tackle. Ball goes free.
That was a great
But to the
sequence
delight
of
of the
play.
home fans, the decision goes their way.
That's an awesome sequence of play. Yeah, a few times there's a bit of a skill breakdown once or twice, but for the most part, good quality passes, really hard work, good quality kicks, great chases, a lot of effort. Players realising in the chaos sometimes opportunities like Kuyu, where he made his line break, really entertaining. That last bit from Angoulême, the effort they put in there was phenomenal. Again, when Kuyu made this break, the effort to chase back, get the tackle on, chase, find a defensive line, get back up in their face. Magic moments, the most endurable part of the game for me. We've just seen it. That was awesome. Angoulême, maybe just there, have worked their way towards a victory. Let's see if now they can get that extra few points to get some 2 scores up. And here you're seeing the turnover moment. The 2 players stole the ball. Followed by the kick, followed by that great chase. A dominant tackle and a little knock on.
On va prendre la réflexion. On y va? On avance, s'il vous plaît. Oui. Merci.
Well, Mathis Lapont, instrumental in what at the moment looks like it could be the telling try. Habakuki Nuisalele Kitoga on to make his bow here, Fijian under 20.
Yeah, made a great hit there, didn't he? To cause that turnover. Great dominant tackle, great work from him.
Smashing up towards the 22, ball comes out, Escoff just loops it up into the hands of Sekeli Nabou.
Le ballon est là. Jouez-le!
Encourage the play. Escoff goes to De Coubert.
Bien derrière, s'il vous plaît, bien derrière. Jouez-le!
Can they do this for another minute and a half? Yes, I think they could.
Allowing that clock to be eaten down here. 90 seconds to go. Little chip through. Oh, it's too strong.
Oh, look, they could go fast. They hit the sideline, so they can't. It hit the sideboards, so no fast line out allowed. If he'd taken a little bit of if that had been a slightly gentler kick, that could have kicked up into the winger's hands. I think maybe they could have wasted a whole minute there, minute and a half. Now they're going to have to put heat on this line out. Keep them down the far end. There's the president, there's Didier. Will they be partying at his restaurant tonight? Let's see. Oh!
Well, he's going to enjoy that call.
Definitely. Start getting your wallet out, Didier. One big scrum. I'll eat my words about the scrum. The Angoulême scrum has the last 2 or 3, like you said, John, has been phenomenal, solid. Let's anticipate the same thing now. By the time that ball comes out the scrum, they'll be able to kick it off and the game be won.
I do wonder if it was just the ability to reintroduce Sekele Abu in the second row just shored things up, whether Richie Arnold was just starting to fatigue, but well, there's some really disappointed looks on the faces of Grenoble. They lost 3 before turning it around with an outstanding performance against Carcassonne. It was 4 losses on the bounce before victory against Brive for Soyaux Angoulême, but it looks as though they might be able to make it 2 in a row.
Just a stable scrum.
Just not yet.
Zouair's put innings in. He's still going. Don't smile yet, guys. President's still not quite believing the victory's going to come their way.
Just need to keep their discipline here. Make sure that they put in straight. Get that ball up.
Oh no, what? Oh my days, so the ball wasn't hooked. So if the ball's not hooked, you can't take the ball out of the scrum, and the 8 just went in there and got it out. Oh no. Oh my God.
Still a long way.
Still a long way to go.
Grenoble to go
no.
in this win.
I can't believe that.
The atmosphere deafening here at the Stade Chanzy as their team look to complete what will have been a great comeback. Trailing by 16 points to 25 at half-time. They lead 34-28. We are deep in the red. Grenoble can afford no errors and it's been knocked forward and helped on its way. And
Happy
there
days
is the final whistle.
for those Angoulême boys. Fair play. They've not won many games at home this year, and they have now. There's Didier.
Well, it is just a picture of delight out on that field. Everyone sporting the home colours. And for the president, they won 25-13 after it finished 3-3 at half-time. These two last season. It is 34-28, 3 tries apiece here at the Stade Chanzy in round 9 of Pro D2 rugby in the 25-26 season.
Imagine commentating on a 3-all game.
I've actually commentated on worse. I commentated on one which finished 3-all in the English Premiership, which I think was Worcester against Wasps on New Year's Day.
I think I played in that game.
I wasn't feeling
I was
brilliant.
bored. I was bored. I was bored playing in that game.
Yeah. I wondered if you had any memories of it.
I remember James Haskell. I think Josh actually slapped him because he didn't pass the ball for a try that might have actually livened the game up a bit. Yeah, Josh was so angry with him for not passing the ball. But, yeah, I remember that. 3-3. Terrible, terrible game of rugby.
Well, this wasn't a terrible game of rugby. Highly entertaining. Okay, there were some moments where some of the execution of skill sets weren't quite to optimum form, but in the end, 34 points to 28 with 3 tries for each side. It was highly entertaining, and it gives Soyaux Angoulême a real feeling of momentum, having managed to get back-to-back victories now.
Definitely. I think we saw from Angoulême some nice touches, nice moments off first, second phase. Beyond that, their attack was struggling a little bit at times. Now, their defence and some of their kicking really carried them tonight. And above all else, their motivation. They seem like a super motivated team. Ruiz, I believe, is fantastic at creating a unified group. Obviously, Didier, the president, is also very good at this. And you can see it shining through despite some disappointing results going past them in the last few months. They're looking like now a team who's still fighting, still in there. And you never know, could maybe repeat their antics of last year of being in the top 6. Storti, on the other hand, looks shell-shocked.
Yeah, that was disappointing, certainly for Grenoble. It is interesting. You look at the way that things have changed around. 31-0 away at Valence on the 19th of September really was a low point, and it came followed by losses against Colomiers at home and then against Nevers as well. And then they weren't close games for Soyaux Angoulême, but they've got that win tonight.
C'est quoi le sentiment qui domine?
Lots of effort.
La déception, la frustration.
So
On n'a pas été
disappointment,
très précis en deuxième
frustrated.
mi-temps. On joue un peu moins bien, voilà.
Second
On
half,
savait
we
qu'il
played
allait
even
revenir fort,
more poorly.
On prend les points rapidement.
We
Mine de
took
rien, on est
points
dans le bras de fer
quickly.
tout le long et faudra revoir à froid, mais beaucoup de
We'll have to
déceptions
see it
de
again
ramener
in,
0 points
when
de
we're
déplacement.
in the cold, in the cold light of day.
En première période, il y avait 9 points d'avance à la poste. Qu'est-ce qui se passe au retour des vestiaires qui fait que vous perdez le fil?
Et je pense que manque de précision, on fait des fautes bêtes.
So at what point did you lose your way?
Dans nos 50, sur la ligne
We
médiane,
weren't
du
very
coup,
precise,
on passe beaucoup de temps
stupid
chez
faults.
nous, ils avaient le vent en deuxième mi-temps.
They
On a un
had
peu trop
the
joué chez nous et
wind in
du
that
coup,
second
voilà,
half
on
and made a
s'expose,
difference.
à prendre des points face à une équipe qui mine de rien joue bien au rugby et puis voilà, on a manqué de.
Yeah, but
on a manqué
then
de
we just
précision,
started
tout
taking
simplement.
points against a team that can play rugby well.
L'arrivée de Jeff Dubois, est-ce que quand même sur l'état d'esprit il y a des choses à retenir ce soir?
So the new coach
là,
arrived, Jeff
chaud,
Dubois.
Je trouve qu'on s'y est collé. Voilà, c'est une équipe qui venait de gagner à Brive, qui était sur une phase d'euphorie. Mais
We knew
malgré
the team
tout,
we're playing tonight
beaucoup de
was a
déceptions
team
de
that
ramener
won
0
at
points de
Brive,
déplacement. Faut qu'on se serve de ce qui
one
a
in,
été ce soir
in
et qu'on soit
bad
un peu plus
conditions.
efficient, notamment sur le deuxième mi-temps pour ramener des points les déplacements. Mais je suis persuadé que on est sur la
In
bonne
the
voie.
second half, would have loved to have at least got one point away from home, but hey, there you
Très
go.
belle première titularisation, félicitations pour la victoire. Racontez-nous
First
comment vous
start,
avez vécu
Christian.
ce match.
Ouais, c'était juste énorme. Après, l'équipe m'ont mis dans des super conditions toute la semaine. Et
So the
franchement,
team have
c'était
kept
super
me
mec.
in,
Après, moi, j'ai fait
helped me
valider,
prepare so well all
le
week.
travail de mes gros et de mes trois quarts, donc ça fait
So
plaisir.
the,
ce
the
soir.
work
Il
of
y a
the
quand même une
forwards and
belle
the backs
inspiration sur le
was
premier
great
essai.
tonight.
Vous vous dites j'y vais, je vais jusqu'au bout.
Ouais, bon, après, je vois la porte qui s'ouvre. Après, c'est moi, mais ça
So
aurait pu
for the
être un autre,
first try, yeah, just
Bon,
I
il y a eu
saw
la
the door
victoire à
open
Brive la
and
semaine
took it.
passée, cette victoire aujourd'hui face à Grenoble, fondateur quand même pour Angoulême cette saison.
quoi. Ouais, j'espère qu'on a réussi à enclencher une dynamique. Parce que
So I hope
on
after
était
that
pas
win
très
against
bien, mais là,
Grenoble, we
je sens que
can
dans le groupe,
start
la confiance revient.
more
Et
wins,
donc, c'est
start a
plutôt
cycle.
positif, ouais.
Il va falloir enchaîner pour remonter vers le top 6.
Ouais, on
Yeah,
va
on
faire en
va-
sorte. On va espérer.
I hope we can link them up and get into that top 6. 24 points for that dude tonight.
24 points for Bergers, and as you'd already touched on, Joe, that real feeling that maybe they can start focusing after a disappointing beginning to the season on trying to emulate their performance from last year. Oh, well, they've certainly produced the rugby that
Yeah,
we can
definitely.
enjoy. That full-time score of 34 points to 28 in Soyaux Angoulême's favour this evening. And Bergers really was a big part to that. And Livron and Famo Sili, I have to say, chapeau to them as well, because
Yeah.
they came off for 10 minutes apiece before half-time and then combined to score that try straight after the interval, which started to turn that momentum around. Let's have a look ahead at what is coming up in the coming weeks. Grenoble are going to be back in action once again. They are up against Béziers in a week's time, but back at home and hoping to continue the proud tradition that they've had in recent seasons of making that a fortress. Then we turn our attention on Sunday the 16th to Grenoble once again, but this time away at the Vannes. That coverage will start as ever at 19:50 in UK and Ireland. And then we move on to Brive, and Brive will be taking on Coulommiers on Thursday the 27th of November. Kick off once again at the same time there. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.